This is 1 John chapter 1, verse 9 from the King James Version. The words come from the Apostle John, one of the 12 disciples of Jesus. He writes late in the 1st century to believers in the region around Ephesus, where false teachers were troubling the churches. Some were claiming that they had special spiritual knowledge and that sin no longer applied to them. John writes to steady, ordinary believers who are confused and unsettled. He reminds them of what they heard from the beginning about Jesus Christ, and he speaks plainly about sin, truth, and fellowship with God. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. 1 John 1 verse 9, King James Version. These words speak directly to the reality of sin and the character of God. In the verses just before this one, John makes a clear statement. He says that if a person claims to have no sin, that claim is self-deception. The truth is not in such a person. The Christian life does not begin with denial, but with honesty. The believers in Ephesus lived in a busy Roman city filled with trade, temples, and competing philosophies. Some teachers were telling them that spiritual enlightenment placed them above moral failure. John answers that teaching without hesitation. He does not soften the problem of sin. He names it directly. Sin is real, and it belongs to all people. Even those who follow Christ must acknowledge their wrongdoing. The single truth at the heart of this verse is this: God responds to honest confession with faithful forgiveness. John says, if we confess our sins, confession means speaking the same truth about our sin that God speaks. It is not vague regret. It is not general sadness. It is a clear admission before God that we have acted, thought, or spoken against His will. There is no ceremony described here. No location is required. No human intermediary is named. The focus is direct and personal. If we confess, then John reveals who God is. He is faithful and just. Faithful means that God keeps His word. He does not change His standard, and He does not withdraw His promise. Just means that He acts rightly. His forgiveness is not careless or unjust. John does not explain the cross in this verse, but he has already spoken of Jesus Christ the righteous. The forgiveness offered here rests on what Christ has done. God does not ignore sin. He forgives it in a way that is consistent with His justice. The result is stated plainly: to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Forgiveness removes guilt. Cleansing speaks of removal of stain. The language is thorough. It does not say some unrighteousness. It says all. For the first readers, this would have brought steady assurance. In a city where ideas shifted and teachers argued, this promise stood firm. The path back to restored fellowship with God was not hidden. It was open and clear. The verse does not promise freedom from earthly consequences. It does not promise an easy life. It promises something deeper: restored relationship with a faithful and just God when sin is honestly confessed. Across centuries, the human condition has not changed. People still deny wrongdoing. Others carry silent guilt. This verse speaks with the same calm certainty it carried in Ephesus. God does not meet confession with uncertainty. He meets it with faithfulness. Remain here for a moment and let that truth settle. If this reflection has helped you slow down and consider the Scriptures, subscribe to Jesus Daily Verse.